The Media Hub is where you will manage your media. You'll use the Media Hub to import your media. During the import process, you can control and change different aspects of your media, such as resolution, bit depth, and file-specific metadata. You'll also use the Media Hub to export your sequences when it's time to render your work. You can access the Media Hub in several different ways. If I go to the File menu and I choose Import, I can choose the option Files, or I can use the shortcut hotkey of Command-I. In the Media panel, if I right-click over a library or a folder, I have the option to choose Import. Or I can go to the bottom of the UI where I have the different tabs to access the different areas of the software. I can click on the Media Hub tab. You'll notice the Media panel that has our media library is still available when you enter the Media Hub. This makes for easy drag and drop of importing your files. As we know, the Media panel and the Media library is where we organize and store all of our media and our sequences in the current project. The Media Hub itself is separated into two sections. The top part is the browser area. The bottom part offers different tabs to use to control different aspects of the media during the import process. The browser section of the Media Hub allows you to navigate and access your media, whether the media is on a local drive or through a network. To browse the media, you double-click on the folders and location to navigate through the structure just as you would inside the Finder. You'll notice the path location of the folders that you are navigating through along the top. You can use these icons to also navigate through your different folders. Once you've entered a folder that has media, Smoke will display thumbnails of the media that is inside that folder. A very efficient way of navigating to your media is by adding bookmarks that allow easy navigation to specific folders. To do so, you go up where it reads Bookmarks and expand the flyout. If I choose Add Bookmark, a bookmark has just been saved with this path going to this folder. For example, if I click the Home button, we go back to the default location for the Media Hub. Now if I expand the bookmark flyout, you can see there is the path that I just saved. Choosing it takes me immediately back into that folder. You have some display options for the browser area. You can either disable or enable the folders along the left-hand side by clicking the first button on the left. You can also access different options through the gear menu relative to the media browser area. You can right-click in different areas of the media browser and you'll get different contextual menu options depending upon what you are right-clicking on. You also have a search field that allows you to locate media based on parts or whole names of the file. For example, if I navigate back up to the video folder, I come down to the search engine and I'll enter a number that I know is part of a file name. When I click the search button, Smoke is going to automatically turn on Scan Subdirectories option and look through all the folders that were underneath the folder structure that I was at. And it finds the file relative to the name that I entered into the search engine. When looking at your media in the thumbnail view, you have a slider that allows you to control the size of the thumbnails that are going to be displayed. You can control how the media is going to be displayed in the browser window, either as a thumbnail or a list view. You do this by accessing this flyout over here along the right-hand side. You'll see you have several different options. You have the list, list with preview, workspace, workspace with preview, thumbnail, and thumbnail with preview. The default is thumbnail. If I choose list, and now I have several different columns giving me more information about the media that's in this folder. You can right-click along the top black bar and choose what columns will be displayed and what columns will not be displayed. You can also control the sorting order. If you want to rearrange the columns, just select the name and drag to the left or the right to change the position or the location of the individual columns. You can expand and control the width of the columns by clicking at the dividing line and drag to the left or right. If you choose the workspace option, this will also display all the same columns, but you will not see the folder structure along the left-hand side. You'll notice that there's an option for preview for each one of these options, whether it's list, workspace, or thumbnail. Choosing any one of those three will show you the specific layout option with a preview window. you'll notice that as I start selecting different media sources in my folder, it is displayed in the preview window. This is true for any one of the layouts you choose with the preview option. You can close the preview window by choosing the close option or hitting the escape key. Another way of displaying the preview window is by double-clicking on the thumbnail or the name in the workspace or list view, and the preview window will open with the clip that you just double-clicked on. The preview window gives you two tabs, one called Clip Information and one named Metadata. Below the preview window, you have your standard playback controls to play back and navigate throughout your file. Clicking the play button obviously will start to play back your clip. You can also scrub your clip by just clicking and dragging along the bottom of the preview window. You also have the ability to set in and out marks prior to importing the file, and then only these designated frames will be imported when you import the file. You can bring the preview window to full screen mode by clicking the full screen button just under the preview window on the right side. Now you can preview your media in full screen mode. The playback hotkeys of JKL work in full screen mode. L will play your media forward, J will play your media backwards, and K will stop the media. To return back to the standard size preview window, you can bring your cursor down to the lower part of the UI and your playback and other options will reappear. Clicking the button all the way to the right hand side will bring you back to the preview window's default size. You can also hit the escape key to achieve the same result. Once you are ready to import your file or files, select that file and then over inside the media library, select the library or folder you want that file to be placed. Click the import button and the file is imported into that library or folder. You can also simply pick up a file, drag it over to the media library, and drop it into the folder or library you want it to be imported in. Selecting multiple files at one time will allow you to drag and import multiple files. If you drag a file or files into the media library and drop it on the top part that reads Libraries, a new library will be created waiting for you to name it. Then those files will be imported into that library. A very important part of understanding importing your media is the options on the General tab. Under Clip Options, you'll see this option called Cache Source Media. Enabling this will create an intermediate file, which is a managed copy of the media in the application storage. This copy will be the transcoded version of the original media, using the cached media compression format that is controlled in the project settings. Disable this option, and you will link to the media of the imported clip without transcoding or copying the media. As far as the cache source media, you can always change your mind after the file has been imported. If you right-click over any file that has been imported in your media library, you can go to the Media option where you have the options to cache source media and flush source cache media. As we just saw, you can drag multiple files by using your Command and your Shift key accordingly and dragging them into the media library. You can also import entire folders, media, and folder structure by simply picking up the folder itself, dragging and dropping it into the library, and releasing it. The media will be imported, the folders will be created based on the folder structure of the drag and drop action. Always be aware of the cache source media, whether it's on or off, no matter how you are importing your files, depending upon if you want your media to be transcoded or not.